Welcome, Whale fam. What is up? What is going on? How
Hey,
you feeling?
sure. How you doing?
GG, and what is up, my brother? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. I'm very excited. I was looking forward for this.
Yeah, me too, man. Like, oh my God, this entire week I was like, oh man, the whale community has no idea what they got in store for this Friday with this AMA.
Yeah,
I've been yeah, actually I I've been calling it the fourth whale AMA because I was counting the previous convo that we had with Alex as third,
that's right. Yeah, I think it's fair to count that one.
Right? Yeah, I agree. Oh, look, yo, GG, and check this out. So we got a bunch of fans, the show and GG and show in the street sex channel. They love it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Oh my god, man.
just so you know, y'all, so we'll also be joined for this whale AMA with we'll be joined by Rude Moose, and we'll be joined by our community lead, Alegria.
The
So
man himself.
yeah, that dude, that guy, so we got the squad, all together. And we had the awesome opportunity to sift through most of the questions that were provided by most of you for the past week or so. And yeah, you guys should be really in for a treat. So while we
Yep.
wait for everyone to hop in, we're just gonna chill and ride. Let's make
Yeah,
sure.
let's give people a couple of seconds, a couple of
Yeah.
minutes. And like a quick reminder on how the format is going to be. We have personally picked like the questions that we like the most from a bunch of questions that most of them were very good, but we have limited time and thus we have to choose 10, right? I believe it's 10.
Yeah, it's somewhat though. Yeah, so we did receive 10. The payout structure will be a little bit different. People will be receiving 2 whale per question.
True whale per question. All right, that's pretty good, man. That's $20.
Yeah, just about, right? So that's the deal. While we wait for everyone to trickle in, hey Zoop, how's your mic working? It was working
Hi
before.
there.
Let me just double check. Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna intro you as soon as we get the rest of the team in here, and we'll
Yep.
make it all happen. All right?
Awesome. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
We
Just
can hear you.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
Awesome.
hey, Moose, what's up?
Howdy. We ready for an awesome AMA today? We've got the AMA, we've got the Friday trivia, we've got all sorts of stuff going on.
Big time, big things in the whale community. Make sure I pull up my the questions. You guys had some pretty solid questions, but make sure we're good. All right, let me we will kick this off officially, even though we kind of semi-officially, sort of officially kicked it off. All right, y'all. Welcome to the Whale AMA for the late stragglers. Obviously, it's your host show, and as you already heard, we have the rest of the Whale mod team in the building. The Whale community would like to officially welcome these guys before I say their names. Well, their names actually, it's the one guy, the main guy of the whole squad. But before I say his name, I would just like to kind of let people know more so that their organization has been integral to the growth of the NFT community as a whole. They are one of the strongest resources that we know. They serve somewhat as a liaison between the casual person who dabbles in crypto or even just fiat currency, who's looking to get deeper into the NFT space, to the point where their website's URL is super valuable. It's going to be even more valuable in the future, and I'm sure that they know that. So yeah, they are the number one resource when it comes to valuating NFTs, collectibles, and the like in our space. And I would like to officially welcome Zoop from nonfungible.com to the Whale community. Welcome, Zoop.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
going on,
well,
man?
that's good. That's awesome to be there today. Thank you very much for the invitation. That's really, really cool. So many people. Oh gosh. That's crazy. Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's up, man? But before I give you permissions, let me well, actually, wait. Just give me 1 second, all right? And we could
Yep.
actually take a look at your face.
Oh, yeah. No problem. Um.
All right, just so you guys know, now we are Dab Dragon approved, so that's pretty good.
Thank you, that dragon.
Feel like we should get a tweet to confirm that so the whole world knows.
Oh yeah,
Get
absolutely.
get it out on Twitter. Get the Whale fam retweeting it.
Oh gosh, it's no fungible that is approved.
Hey,
No
will-
fungible.
I will make a tweet right now. Give me a moment and then I'll post a link.
Perfect.
and while she does that, hey Zoop, so you've been given temporary rights to show your face, so you can definitely attempt that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Looks like I have to. What the heck? Oh, I need to activate two-factor authentication. So, oh gosh.
Oh, Discord, like Discord with the security, you know, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we're in crypto, you know,
Oh,
you know how to.
that's
how
why.
that- Oh, okay.
Okay, I can do that. It will take just a second. That maybe.
All right. Cool.
Mhm. Yep, that should be good.
Yeah.
Hope so. Hmm.
Try to give that a shot. In the meantime, I have a really nice banner. I say it's really nice because it's designed by me, you know, so I'm just giving myself a little pat on the back, you know. I was a little overly excited, so
What the heck? I'm sorry.
no, it's cool.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that will be for the next time, I guess.
Cool, yeah. All right. So I mean, we'll just stalk your Twitter, try to see if we can find like pictures of you there instead of us seeing videos.
Yeah.
I mean, a video of your face here. You know, it's cool.
Yeah, but there's nothing to see actually.
All right.
Okay.
It's cool. Let me just pull something up real quick.
I've got that tweet posted in chat. Should hit that up with some retweets. Get the word out about how awesome non-fungible is.
Thank you. Oh, that was a retweet.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. So, Zoop, it's really awesome that we got you here. You're not necessarily on the hot seat, you know, but I'm pretty sure everyone else is pretty curious about how things work in terms of nonfungible.com.
Yep.
And more so like your responsibilities, the scope of your project, and things like that. So I kind of want to start at the beginning of the history of non-fungible and kind of build from there. We got an awesome question from one of our members, GP115C24. They would like to know, how did non-fungible get started?
That's a good one. Actually, I must confess that I'm not the one that started nonfungible.com. It was Dan. So DavKey 2000. I guess that most of you know that guy. He is not there today because he was pretty busy. But at the really beginning, it's a funny story. Dan booked something like, I don't remember exactly, something like 100 different domain names, like nonfungible.com, nonfungible market, NFT market, these kind of things. And at the very beginning, his goal was to create a marketplace. And something like 2 or 3 days right after he started coding for a marketplace, he discovered that OpenSea has raised 2 million. And was like, okay, so why should I build something while OpenSea raised 2 million? And so he just pivoted everything and said, okay, we can do something with data. So at that time, it was in the late 2017, we were both really active on Decentraland, and actually we were flipping land. And so what happened is that he started this little website called nonfungible.com, and yeah, at that time the UX UI was not that good, and he started explaining what he built on the Rocket Chat of Decentraland, and reached that guy and was like, hey, that's really cool. You have all the data about all the sales of Decentraland market. That's crazy. Can you maybe give me some of this raw data and I'll see what we can do with that? And I've started the first analysis for Decentraland market at that time. And the thing is that yeah, it really started like that. Like, okay, you have the data. I think I have some ideas of what we can do with this data. And yeah, that was the beginning. And something like 1 or 2 months later, we listed 10 other projects like CryptoKitties, CryptoPunks, Ethereum, and others. And yeah, with the time, we really started to build what we can consider as a brand. So yeah, that was the really beginning of nonfungible.com.
Wow. So you started as collectibles and essentially you were just into crypto first. And then the concept came later out of a need, I'm assuming, right?
Absolutely. And, honestly, when I started this first analysis of Decentraland market, I was really working for myself. Like, okay, what is the price of this asset? How can I flip it? Should I buy this one or this one? And yeah, I was really using this data at the really beginning for myself, for my need. And I was like, okay, if it can help me, it can help a lot of people. So, okay, let's build something around that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially like we all know how crazy the real estate market is for DCL. I mean, I'm even looking for a parcel or an estate. Y'all hook me up with a deal. I got you. I'm giving you anything but whale, you know, anything but whale for the record. All right. I mean, it's pretty awesome that that you shared that insight. We have another question. Yeah, we have another question from one of our team members, the Cryptolorian. He would like to know, where did you come up with the logo? Did the logo come after the website was built, or did it come before?
Actually, after. Okay, I must confess something else. I'm not a UI designer, and I've built this logo with my pretty poor UI skills.
Zoop. What did you build with nonfungible.com? What is going on?
Yeah, I know.
I'm kidding.
No, but yeah, do you know the meaning behind this logo? When we started building that, we were like, okay, we are nonfungible.com. We have this really cool domain name, so we need a logo. We need a brand, visual identity to explain who we are and what we do. And we wanted to showcase this notion of non-fungibility, which is definitely not understandable for everyone. And so we decided to take these different shapes and yeah, actually during the different tests, we had one of the propositions with these really basic colors, and someone said, "Hey, that looks like Google colors," and I was like, okay, yeah, it was not the goal, but yeah, that looks cool. So let's keep this one. So yeah, we get the logo something like maybe 2 months later. So yeah, we're really beginning the website, the data platform in let's say January or February 2018, and the logo arrived in maybe March or April, something like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean,
Mhm.
I like that it actually grew organically, and I actually really didn't think that the logo looked anything like the Google colors, aside from the fact that it just shares a similar shape and the color. But really, I always had like a different vibe whenever I looked at it, so I actually felt like it was appropriate, you know. So, kudos to you, you know. Like, actually, I'm a big fan of it.
Thank you.
Our next question is from one of our members, Tonio. They would like to know. Okay, so this is actually pretty decent. We're gonna dive even deeper into non-fungible. They would like to know, what is the main objective of nonfungible.com and the non-fungible token itself, from your perspective.
Mm. Let's start with nonfungible.com. Our goal, let's say, if we had to pitch what we do in just one sentence, our goal is to give transparency to the NFT ecosystem. It means that we are there to, we try to avoid over speculation on the assets. I mean, we really don't think that NFTs are meant for speculation. NFTs, these tokens are meant for their use case. They have a use case. They're not just there to be traded. You can do something with them. You can build it. You can build something on top of them. You can breed them. You can play with them. You can do a ton of things with them. So our goal is just to keep in mind that these tokens have been minted, have been created for a specific purpose. So the price has to be of a reflect of this real value of this use case. So when we say that we try to give transparency to the markets, it means that we try, it's not something we do today, but it's something that we plan to do in the next few months, to provide some analytics tool to our customers, our users, to help them estimate the real value of an asset, and not only just to trade it, but just to know what is the price of these assets. If you want to buy it on the market, don't get screwed up, and just know what you have to pay for that. What is the fair price? And of course, the other part of our activity is to give some visibility to the space. So when we meet some people that say, "Oh, that's cool, I've heard that you can do something with art on the blockchain or something like that," we try to explain what's going on. What is a virtual real estate project? What do we what is an art project on the blockchain? What does it mean to have this true ownership? And sometimes we spend hours and hours explaining that, actually the artwork is on the blockchain, so you see it on your screen or on your computer, and sometimes it's pretty complicated to explain that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really hard to explain like what what the blockchain is to like your grandparents, you know, when it's hard enough trying to explain the difference between Google Chrome as a browser and Gmail, and that, you know, it's built by the same company but they serve two different purposes. So imagine trying to explain what an NFT is, you know. And that's what's great about nonfungible.com, is the fact that essentially, from my perspective, I'm assuming, well, actually, no, not assuming anymore after just what you just said, the main objective of you guys is to essentially serve as a resource for people in order to make knowledgeable decisions about, I guess, acquiring NFTs, collectibles, and things like that, correct?
Exactly. Absolutely. We are really there to enhance the space, to help people navigate through this ecosystem. It's extremely complicated to keep up with all the projects, with all the trends. Let's say that tomorrow you enter a new project. Let's say that, I don't know, that Decentraland just appears tomorrow. What is that? What are you supposed to do that? If you purchase a land, what is the purpose of this project, and it's exactly what we try to do, is to explain what's going on, to be this resource not only about data but as well about just explanations about the space, about the trends.
Dude, that's awesome. I mean, I definitely believe that we were in sore need of that. So you definitely filled in a niche. You know, your project was your project is incredibly valuable to us as a whole. Speaking of project, that's a perfect segue into our next question by one of our moderators. She just helped you with a tweet, and she will be asking you a couple of questions later on. But she also provided this question for us. She would like to know, for those who have not yet been introduced to your project, tell us the most exciting, meaningful, or valuable thing about nonfungible.com, and why should we be hyped about it continuously, especially going into the next year?
Wow. Just be sure what you should be keep following us. Was the question?
Yeah, or even what is the most singular important thing about nonfungible.com, or what is the most meaningful or valuable thing about it?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Hard questions, yeah.
Big, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
really complicated one.
Hey, man, I mean, it's like, yeah, very much so.
Wow. How to stay humble with this one? Because we are good at what we do. No, just kidding.
No, own it. If that's how you feel.
No, just kidding. No, what is the most valuable thing? I'd say that maybe the thing that yeah, I know, just kidding. Maybe the fact that we were born exactly when the space appeared. I mean, we haven't arrived something like 1 or 2 years after and say, oh, okay, I've discovered this NFT ecosystem that is already big. I mean, we were born exactly when the NFT ecosystem was born, or maybe, 2-3 months right after, but we are a child of this NFT space. So we are growing with it. We have followed all the trends from the really beginning. We know the guys. We are keen in the game, and I really think that this thing. I mean, Dan has something like, I don't know exactly, maybe 500 collectibles, something like that. He is a really great collector. We don't do that just because we love the data or just because we think that it's a startup project that is cool. It's really because we think that the NFT ecosystem has an incredible potential, and we are living in this NFT space every day. I mean, from the time that we wake up to the really late in the night, we are following everything on Twitter, on other space. So I'd say that we are part of it. I don't have any best answer.
No, actually, I think that you did touch upon it. Let me just add a little bit of clarity here. So essentially, you're saying that there was a niche, there was a space or a void that needed to be filled by people who were extremely knowledgeable about NFTs. So you're essentially saying that the most valuable thing about nonfungible.com and your team is the fact that you're highly analytical and you provide an aggregated source of information. I'm assuming, right? Not to put words in your mouth, but is that correct? Or
yeah, absolutely. That's it, and that's everything that we produce, the reports, the analytics, are tools that we would need. I mean, as just researchers, we don't produce this kind of stuff just for the fun. We produce them because we need it personally. We are our own customers, I'd say. So, yeah.
Solid. Our next question comes from another community member. Their name is Indo SP Network. They would like to know, what is the purpose of building the non-fungible community? And can that community actually help with disasters across the globe. So essentially, how can we utilize nonfungible.com and NFTs and collectibles and things like that in order to assist community members who are dealing with disasters in their region or area?
That's a serious one.
Hey man, this is Whale Community, man. We're gonna ask you some stuff, you know.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I, I don't know. As far as I know, I don't think it's the case today, but I definitely think that the NFT ecosystem, that these tokens can have this kind of impact on the society. That, yeah, you know, the value, the inner value we see in these NFTs can definitely be used for something else than just playing with the asset or speculating or this kind of stuff. Yeah, I have an example in mind, and yeah, just want to detail this one. Something like 1 or 2 years ago, we organized a contest to build a mascot for the NFT space. Actually, this mascot has kind of disappeared today, but that was a fun experiment. And the prize for the winner, for the artists that have designed this mascot, was only composed of NFTs. And what is interesting is that the pool prize was at about, I don't remember exactly, something like 30 or 35 ETH. It was really a massive amount of value only in NFTs. And the winner was in a country in South America, where, as far as I know, the money is a real issue, where there is a crazy inflation. Inflation, yeah, does that work?
Mm-hmm.
On the money. So basically, the fact that this guy won this 30 ETH for an artwork, I mean, it's like he really gained something that could potentially change not his life, of course, but that could have a really positive impact on his situation, on this specific context in his country. And I really think and I hope that in the next few years we'll see some movements, some initiatives where in case of disasters, people will just join forces and get the value from these NFTs and maybe maybe, I don't know, just mine new tokens to send for free to this community, to these people in need, and that the value we have in the NFTs could be used for something more, let's say, useful, or at least for maybe charity or something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
man, if you can let me have 1 second here. No, it's just that everything that you talked about, it really relates to my situation like 1 year ago. And when I started playing Gods Unchained, I started without any expectation, right? But there was a play to earn, and by playing to earn, I really fast discovered that I could be making the equal amount to our minimum wage salary here in Brazil, right? Because the inflation and our currency is very weak lately, and so this is exactly my case. And it's interesting to see you talk about it, because when I think about non-fungible, if you're providing information on the projects, on their use cases, on the market, you are providing the option for those people to verify when that opportunity is there and where the opportunity is, because the opportunity changes. But it's a huge deal. It looks like it's not, because it doesn't look like much money if you're looking from another place, but it's good enough for people to live out of it. like really, and that's very interesting and very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with everything Gigi said. And I agree so much that I'm actually going to pass the microphone back to Gigi for his next question. So if you would
Oh,
like to take the
all
mic
right,
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. So next question is from a very beloved member of the community who has recently approved us, Deb Dragon. So I like his question because it's more personal, and he'd like to know what's your favorite project personally.
What's my favorite project? Can I have several answers to this one?
You have, but it's kind of cheesy.
I know. Okay, I have to pick one. Um, let me think for a second about this one. Um, yeah, I know. I think that yeah, my favorite one is one that is not live yet. It's a project that I followed for months and years now. I don't know if you recall Ember Sword. Um, it's an
Never
RPG.
heard of it.
You've never heard of this one? Ah, I'll
Nope.
just tip it in the chat. I recommend you to have a look at that. Honestly, I must confess that I don't have much news from them for a month, so I hope everything is good for them. So basically, these guys from Ember Sword are building an RPG on chain, and yeah, it really looks amazing. I really recommend you to have a look at that.
I'm looking at it right now. It
And
looks pretty.
yeah, it looks rad, definitely. The thing is that these guys have really understood what are NFTs and what is the value that blockchain can provide to a game. And the point is not just to have something called like crypto blah 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 or blockchain stuff. The value is in the possibility to let anyone be a let's say builder of a game. You know, all these games, all these projects like the Sandbox, Decentraland, where you have to build the game. In Ember Sword, there is really a complex economy that has been imagined, where if you're an artist, or if you just have time, or if you just want to be active in the game, you can benefit from this economy. You can make money because you are building helmets, swords, things that can bring value to the players. And it's really interesting to notice that it's not something like the more active you are, the more money you get, or the more cash you spend in it, the more chance you have to make money. It's really the skill you put in the game, the value that you can put in the game brings you something back. And that's interesting. That's really, really exciting.
Nice to know, man. It looks pretty good. I love the design, and I will be checking out.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm definitely gonna do a little bit of research on Ember Sword, But as everybody in the whale community knows, I'm super bullish on whale. I'm all about whale, and I'm also all about the vault too. So we're gonna do a little bit of vault talk right now.
Yep.
And one of the questions about the vault comes from another member of our mod team. His name is Zoro, and he would like to know, if it's not a conflict of interest, what are some of the non-fungible team's favorite NFTs or artists that are currently in the vault? And so essentially yours, and if you know about Dafkeys or anyone else's. And what do you, and this is actually a two-part question, and I'll follow up.
What is my favorite artist?
In the vault.
Yeah, in the vault. I really like Akatao's style. I mean, it's extremely colorful, and I really, really like that. That style. there is an artist I love. I'm really in love with, but actually, I don't remember if there are some of his artworks in the vault. There are so many, so many of them. I don't remember all of the artworks. Oh, I don't remember if there are some Cat Harrington. Do you guys know if there are in the vault? I don't
Oh,
remember honestly.
of Katie Arrington. Yeah, we own
Yeah,
a
there are some.
few of her
Uh,
pieces. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. Also, so let's just dive a little bit deeper here. In terms of the vault, though, and we're gonna talk about the official report because it's the first of its kind, I believe, in our space, and there's a question about that later on. But
Mhm.
in terms of pieces and NFTs in the vault, you're one of the few who actually gets to analyze and really look at the pieces all the time. So I'm just assuming, I guess, out of the ones that really ring a bell, what would you say is the one that really appeals to you?
Um, the what that appeals to me? Sorry.
NFT or artwork in our
Oh.
vault that may, I guess, it may be really valuable
Ah.
that you may like personally, or anyone else on the team mentioned that they really like.
Mm, I know that Devki is. Actually, to be completely honest, we don't talk that much internally about the assets themselves. We spend so much time just talking about the methodologies, about some really technical things about, okay, I've identified something weird about the value of this one. Do you think I should apply another methodology? All these kind of things. But we, I mean, to be completely honest, I spend most of my time working on some database or Excel sheets. So I don't necessarily see each of the assets. So sometimes it's not that um, I forget the look of the assets, but I mostly remember the value when the asset has been purchased, and if I had an issue, because sometimes I say that I noticed that this value has gained something like 100, let's say, E4 USD in value. Sometimes I really spend time on specific assets because, okay, this is weird. There is something that is not normal about this one. Um, I mean, the assets where I've spent the most time recently are on Gozen Chain. It was not artworks. Artworks was complicated, actually. I mean, uh, specifically, okay, let's talk a little bit about art. I've spent days trying to find the fair price of Pascal Boyard artworks. It was extremely complicated, actually, because what happened, and we had a long conversation with Mogda, the Museum of Contemporary Digital Art, to find the best way to analyze them. And the thing is that with Pascal Boyard, the Vault and Whale Shark and the Whale Community made history. I mean, it's the first time in the history that street art has been tokenized, and I mean um, the only thing that already exists, I'm sorry, that exists today, is the token. The artwork itself has disappeared. It has been painted over by someone else, and that's normal. But it's something that has never been done before. So how to assess something that is unique, that just made history? So yeah, that was really tricky, and so I spent really days just looking at the artworks from Pascal Boyard, and I really like his style as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, I really like his stuff too. That's perfect that you mentioned about certain qualities and the fact that his pieces are unique. Kind of segues into our next question that was picked by one of our moderators. His name is Odin, and he picked a question from one of our community members named Paradigm. And the question is, in terms of us as well, specifically for us, the whale community, when picking future pieces that should belong in the vault, when our DAO is active and it will be strengthened as the weeks and months go on. So when evaluating pieces that should go into the vault, what are some qualities that the NFTs or art pieces should have, and what essentially should we look out for in order to maximize success?
It depends on each project. Uh, I would say that the basic answer would be the rarest, the best. It's really a question of strategy. I can't. I noticed that some people are really expecting this answer. So, what is the best strategy to purchase NFTs and be sure to make money?
How do I make a bunch of money, man? Teach me.
What is the magic trick? Okay, just listen, guys. Here's the magic trick. Okay, yeah, there is a magic trick. It's just to spend a ton of time on the market trying to see what's happening, why this card in Gods and Chain is gaining value. Why is there any value in this asset? To be honest, in Gods and Chain, when I just started analyzing the assets, I was like, okay, I don't play Gods and Chain, so I don't know how it works exactly. I know it's about cards and that some cards have an impact on the game. Okay, so basically, I had to play the game. I had to, do your own research and just have some skin in the game. If you don't understand why these assets have any sense, any value in the project, you won't understand because why it has a value financially speaking. For an artist, for artworks, there are two sides of things. You can do that really with guts, just the feeling like, okay, I think this one is really cool. I think it's going to worth a lot tomorrow because if I like it, other people are going to like it. That's risky, but that's a that's a possibility. The other one is to do that with a really analytical approach and consider that, okay, you know that we've published something on nonfungible recently about the most profitable sales. If you want to make money or be sure that the asset you buy today will worth more tomorrow, you have to follow the trends. For example, actually it's not really a mystery. Hakatao, Xcopy, Pack, and some of these artists are really hype. I mean, the value of the artworks is almost constantly growing. I don't know if in 1 year it will be the case anymore. I guess so, but I don't know. So yeah, I say that you have to analyze the trends. I mean, the macro trends, like, okay, is this artist hype or not? Is there any pattern on the market? These kind of things. And on a micro approach, you can as well compare the artworks from an artist with his other artworks. Let's say that an artist is doing most of his artworks in blue, and one day he creates a series of artworks in red. Per definition, they are rare. So there are a lot of chances that someone one day is going to pay a lot to own one of these red pieces. It's not a financial advice, of course, but yeah, it's
But
more
it
about.
is.
No, it's more about what we have noticed on the market so far. It's the kind of patterns that we have identified.
No, it makes a lot of sense, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The last thing is that, you just need to be ready to spend really a ton of time on the projects, on the market, and trying to understand why this project, this asset is going to gain value. And I know basically, I don't know exactly how Whale Shark decides to buy these assets, or why they are in the vault and some are not. But the only thing I know is that he spends a really ton of time just testing the games, analyzing them, and yeah, it's really a question of time and knowledge. Yeah, of
Oh
course.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that he spends a ton of his time evaluating pieces, and he actually does it pretty quickly. I mean, I also know that he's listening to this right now, so we can always just pick his brain and just ask him directly in the future. But it's great that you mentioned that you spend a lot of time in front of you deal with a lot of spreadsheets, right? And also talking about patterns as well. I believe that GGN has a question that would actually work really well in terms of dealing with spreadsheets and patterns.
Yeah,
Is that
definitely. This is one of the things that I'm most curious about. I think it's partially about methodology. So the question comes from Zoho, is one of our junior mods. And he asked, is there a metric that the team finds interesting, but yet does not include in the official report?
Metric about the vault or metric globally speaking about the space?
Yeah, I think it
both?
could be
Both.
about,
Both.
yeah,
Yeah. Just answer both. Yeah.
generically.
Um, yeah, there are two things. About the vault, if you might have noticed that at the really beginning we had a chart in the first audit about the monopoly, the risk of monopoly of the vault compared to the complete supply of assets. And we quickly identified that this doesn't really make sense because there are no risk of monopoly. I mean, the vault, except for one artist, doesn't own a significant amount of assets compared to the total supply. So we continue tracking it just in case of, but we don't display the monopoly risk in the vault each time at each audit. It's about the vault and about the space. Basically, there are of course a ton of metrics, of KPIs that we calculate, that we analyze, that won't really make sense for the vault. It's metrics about the activity, the performance, let's say the health of a project. For example, two of the metrics that I personally really like is the retention rate, which is basically how regularly people connect to the project. Do they play CryptoKitties once a month, once a week, every day? And what is the percentage of people that are really active or playing only once a month? This is extremely interesting, and it's really a good sign of the activity, the fidelity of a community.
That's pretty interesting, man.
Mhm.
I remember people were concerned like about the impact of whales on projects and if they had any chance to present danger to a project because of how high was the percentage of assets that they owned. Have you ever observed anything close to that anywhere?
Mm, mm, they do have impact. Whales definitely have an impact on the at least on the market. I
Yeah, I
don't.
mean, like
Yeah,
negatively.
negatively, no, not as far as I know. The the main risk I see is a long-term risks is about finding this real fair price. I mean, these whales can definitely make the market. I mean, if all the whales just decide to purchase all, let's say, all CryptoKitties for minimum one ETH, they can. I mean, but that just doesn't make sense to begin with, and it will just exclude so many people from the project. So let's say that the assets that are currently in the vault are put for sale tomorrow, as some of them has been purchased for a really expensive price, and they are kind of unique. I can't say that it has been overpaid. I mean, let's say, for example, the two mythic cards. Let's say that there is just no whale in the space, and that these mythic cards in Gods Unchained has been purchased for 2, 3, 5, maybe 6 ETH. That's possible, and maybe the market would have just a different phase. Today, with whales that are able to purchase these assets for a really expensive price, we know that a mythic cards won't go to the market, won't go back to the market for less than, don't remember exactly, 30 ETH. So the market has been impacted. In a way, whales can create, okay, they can, change the market. So I haven't seen a negative impact yet, but there is a risk if whales go crazy and they purchase already a ton of things for too expensive price that it excludes a lot of people from traditional markets.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Go.
that's yeah. Oh no, I'm here, man. Definitely. I was actually just letting things just rest and for everyone to take a beat and absorb all that valuable information that Zoop just provided.
Yes.
No, seriously, because that's this is super major. This is actually crucial.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, it's interesting and crucial for us being whale community members and having this massive vault to manage and oversee, and just being able to look at everything else that's going on in NFT space as a whole. In terms of potential, I would actually like to expand upon potential of NFTs and things of that nature by passing the mic over to our fellow moderator, Rude Moose. She has a couple questions that she would like to ask you, Zoop.
Yep. Sure.
I do. I have the hard questions now. And you've touched on those a little bit through some of your earlier answers. So I think this one kind of relates to when you were explaining about the art and how you spent days trying to figure out the value. But which asset class is the hardest to evaluate and why? So that was submitted by Zorro, and the question has like two parts, because he also wants to know, are there assets, that are really hard to evaluate? Do you think those are then kind of valued at the lower end of their potential just because they're hard to evaluate, or there's no comparable items?
That's a really good question. The most complicated assets are the rarest ones. And of course, in the vault and its whale shark strategy and the vault strategy, there are almost only rare assets. So our methodology basically is to compare the assets that we have in front of us with the market history. If there is no market history, it's extremely complicated to define what is the value of this one. So artworks are really complicated. The Gods Unchained mythic cards are complicated as well. Same for the avatars number 0 and number 1. There are nothing to compare with them. The price that has been paid at that time is potentially the price that they are worthing. But I won't reveal all our secret sauce about that, but we just observe the trends, we observe the patterns on the other kind of comparable assets, and we apply these same trends to these extremely rare assets. So let's say that number avatars number 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on are gradually gaining value over the past few months or years. We bet that these number 0 and number 1 are as well gradually gaining value. And it was extremely important to add that we are pretty pessimistic in the conservative, let's say conservative, in the audit we do. We really don't want to overestimate the value. We try to be as conservative as possible about the valuation. even for Pascal Boyard artworks, for a long time we considered that the value of these artworks was exactly the same that Whale Shark paid at that time. Potentially, their value might have increased, but we decided to keep that conservative approach of, okay, someone paid that much for these unique, non-comparable artworks. Let's say that this value has remained the same for a few months. Now we have optimized a little bit, but yeah, but basically it's how we try to do. I don't know if I've answered correctly your question.
I think that you've hit on that pretty well, especially because, you know, as you mentioned, you try to go with the conservative sort of assessments,
Mhm.
just, you know, because not really having a lot of market comparison options, you know, that makes it a little bit harder for sure.
May I just add something about that? Yeah, I've said that we are pretty conservative, and we definitely are. And there is something really tricky for us in the audits you might have read, is that you might notice that the value of the vault increased a lot from an audit to another one. And most of the time, and that's what we have added really as a flag on the last audit, is that the value don't necessarily come from the assets that were already in the vault, but from new assets, because each month, new assets are coming in the vault. So we can see a plus 20, 30, 40% of increase in terms of value, but not necessarily from the assets that were already in the vault.
All right, so that makes sense. That actually leads into the next question that we had, which was from Dab Dragon. So he's hitting with the hard questions at the end here. And he wants to know if you notice any difference in the influence that the Whale Vault provides to the popularity of any of the art or game collectibles. Like, are there any assets that perhaps gained value across the market once they started being featured more prominently in the Whale Vaults?
Probably. Actually, the vault of whale community, and whale shark are definitely really popular in the space, and we the project has definitely a great impact on the ecosystem. And I guess that everyone knows that before adding an asset to the vault, there is some due diligence process, or some research that ensure that this project is potentially has a potential. Today, we haven't noticed directly that assets have gained value because they have been added in the vault, or because some of the assets from, well, let's say, other stars have been added in the vault, the other ones have gained value. There are so many factors. It can be because a new project used avatars, or because there were a publication in, I don't know, a CoinDesk or Cointelegraph. So many factors impact the reputation of the project, the value of the assets, that we can't necessarily, at least today, determine if it's because the asset has been added to the vault or something else.
That is definitely an interesting
Very
bit of
interesting.
information for us to be able to move forward with, because those are, you know, as you mentioned, some pretty big projects. And so having, I think, the visibility and perhaps the momentum behind the collection, and maybe paving the way for more widespread adoption of some projects, is kind of what we had been looking at when crafting that question. I think that's at least where I had interpreted that from.
Hmm.
So with that, those are, I think, the end of the hard questions that I had, which
Well,
I was really excited that we had those. Like, we're going to do the easy stuff and then we're going to hit with the really hard things.
These are really good questions. I'm just reading the stream text in the meantime, and yeah, the questions are really good. Yeah.
well, I mean, I may actually have another hard one too, but
Oh, he's been inspired.
yeah, I mean, I'm actually inspired by the fact that we were talking about the Avastars project. So shout out to Jim and the entire NFT 42 team. Actually, there was a discussion that occurred, I believe, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago in the Whale server, and it was somewhat of a misunderstanding over the valuation of the number 0 and number 1 Avastars in the vault. And so we actually realized, I don't want to throw a number out since obviously like you are the analytical master here and you do the audits. So essentially I believe that it was valued low, really low according to something, and after a double or triple check it was actually valued extremely high. Well, both Avastars were valued extremely high and brought the total valuation of the vault super high. Am I correct in saying that, or am I somewhat off there?
Uh, I don't have all the figures in mind right now, so I don't want to say any mistake about that. But yeah, the point is that that's a really good point. We want these audits to be as mainstream as possible. That's why we have chosen to display the results, the value, in terms of USD and not only in terms of ETH. But of course, the value in terms of USD is impacted by the price of ETH. The point with Avastars, I try to recall exactly what happened, but yeah, is that we have analyzed the price evolution in terms of USD and the price at that time was definitely not the same price of ETH but today. So we had some kind of mistake about that. The thing is that I have to recall exactly what happened. We have identified that some of the number 5, 6, 7, or so on have been resold on the secondary market for less than they have been bought on the primary market. So even if some of them might have lost a little bit of their value, the fact that the value of ETH increased, basically it's stabilized the value. So even if we were not extremely precise on that one, definitely we noticed that we had to refine our methodology regarding Avastars number 0 and number 1 and these really rare assets. The impact on the global value was not that much. It won't take the value of the vault over 1 million just because of this change. So yeah, that was a really tricky one.
Yeah, it's great that you definitely addressed that. Also, in regards to your to nonfungible.com's analytical methodology, I'm curious about if are there any tools or protocols in place, I guess in real time, or maybe like in the event that any of our other collectibles, NFTs, or artworks in the vault are misevaluated. Are there steps in place in order to reevaluate them in real time in order to have a proper valuation if something goes wrong with the audit report?
Today is not fully automated. To be completely transparent with you, we are currently working on a fully automated machine learning algorithm to evaluate the assets. It's something that we already have pretty good results with that, but it's not perfect. And we don't want to take the risk of having a fully automated valuation that could just do mistakes and too many wrong valuations. So today it's still, let's say, 70% manual. And even if it's definitely time consuming today, it takes at least almost a week to evaluate the vault. But with this methodology, with this manual human check, we double check each asset, each valuation, and we notice if there is something wrong, something that is just not logical. I mean, we have this feeling about the space, about the trends, and if we notice something that is not going in the right way, we just spot it out and we spend time analyzing what's happening. Sometimes, when, for example, for cryptovoxels, the value of cryptovoxels parcels just skyrocketed in the past few months. And each time I analyze these assets, I'm like, okay, there is something wrong. It can't have gained that much value in few days. But yeah, actually it did. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love crypto voxels. I have my own opinions about CV and where I see it going. Speaking of projects and where they're going into the future, here's a lighter question, man. It's cool. So we can just relax and talk about this. Over the next 5 years, where do you see nonfungible.com going, and what does nonfungible need? If you could dream of any tool or team member or product that you need to push nonfungible.com ahead, what is that one thing that you would need?
Wow. We have a long list of things that we need.
Talk about it, man. I'm here to listen. Talk about it.
Yeah. Let's start with what we aim to become in 5 years. We aim to become this kind of mix between Bloomberg and CoinMarketCap, something like that. That just give all the information in real time. That this kind of trusted third party, this source of information, not only about data but global information about what's going on. And if you want an information about the NFT space, about art, about gaming, about domain names or utilities, everything, you just have to go to nonfungible or just subscribe to a feed or anyway. What we need basically today is some, I taste maybe some more manpower, some basic skills in terms of machine learning, data analysis, this kind of things. We do a lot of test and learn, and of course it takes time. I mean, in 2 years we have done really a lot of things regarding the performance of our database, of our data sets. We today have a knowledge that I guess no one really has regarding how to scrap, store and analyze the data regarding the NFT markets. That's something really cool. But if we want to move to the next level, we have to automate a lot of things. We have to provide all these services to our users, directly on non-fungible and not through manual process. So yeah, let's say 2 front-end developer, 1 UI, maybe 2 data scientists, and yeah, that should be good. Oh yeah, a community manager as well.
Dude, that's a lot of crypto you gotta pay out to all these people. So you
Yeah.
gotta think about that. That's a lot of overhead.
I know.
But yeah, Zoop. Do you have any final words for the whale community, or just for us you want to share?
Yeah, so many things. We are definitely making history. This has never been done before. When I explain to people outside of the NFT space what's going on, what we have built, what is the vault, what is Whale, people are like, oh my gosh, it's the future. yeah, guys, is the future, and we are building it today together. So this is really crazy. I mean, we are so excited to be part of that. Not only because it's our job. I mean, we are really, really excited about just being part of this journey. It's just crazy. And by the way, I guess yeah, it's the first day that Whale hit 10 USD. So
Yeah,
Ooh.
let's go.
that's a great day.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Whale
Absolutely.
Community. How do you in terms of like social token, just really quickly, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about this coin backed by NFTs? You know, you being nonfungible.com. How do you feel about us hitting $10 right now?
I can't even believe it's true. I mean, it's arrived just so quickly. I mean, yes. I think that this value means something. I mean, the value of this vault, I mean, is real. It's true. So the value of this whale token means something to me. Um, to be completely honest, I'm still a little perplexed about social currencies or this global trend. And just about whale, I'm personally convinced that there is a use case. I'm more convinced about the use case than the value. If there is a use case, there is a value. And so, yeah, I think we have something that makes sense today.
Awesome. Let me just ask to the rest of my fellow moderators, do you have any questions before I wrap it up?
Oh, I think he covered it pretty well, actually. The questions were also very good. They made a very broad picture, right? And yeah, I love it.
I want to add maybe that the whale farm is making the future.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we're collectively making the future, and it's awesome if in that future nonfungible.com is helping to make it too. So on that note, Zoop, thank you so much for your time, man. We know you're a busy person, and we appreciate the fact that you allowed us to ask you these questions and really deep dive into you and the project.
You're welcome. That's really a pleasure to be there, and feel free. I mean, if you guys have more questions about that, feel free to reach out or ping me. We'll definitely want to be transparent. So yeah, feel free.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, and yeah, that's it for the Whale AMA with nonfungible.com.